Hi, I'm Josh Billings, physical therapist and regional director for MedStar Sports Medicine and a youth baseball coach. And I'm here today to talk about 4 ways to keep kids in the game. We know today that about 70% of kids drop out of sports altogether by age 13, and baseball is no exception, with some of the same challenges of dropping participation rates. Anyone who's been to a Ripken tournament or camp knows the great benefits that kids can get from playing baseball. And we know a lot about how to keep them playing so they can get those great benefits. So what are the 4 ways to keep kids in the game? Number 1 is just to make it fun and active. The more active they are, the more engaged, the more they love what they're doing. So the second key for keeping kids in the game is developing athletes. And this is important for all levels, but especially for those first years when kids are just getting started with baseball. It's important to develop some general athleticism before lumping on all the sport-specific skills. It's much easier to turn an athlete into a baseball player than a baseball player into an athlete. And one of the best ways to do this is to just encourage kids to play multiple sports when they're young. Just look at Cal Ripken. He was an outstanding soccer and basketball player in high school, and he credits that for some of the athleticism that helped develop the range and the lateral agility that helped him turn into a Gold Glover. The third key for keeping kids in the game is positive coaching. We know that through studies, kids who play for trained coaches tend to drop out the next year at a rate of about 5%. Kids that play for untrained coaches, it's more like 25%. The fourth key for keeping kids in the game is to keep them healthy. As a physical therapist, I work with a lot of young kids who are injured, sometimes going through a surgery, and that can be a very challenging time for them, and sometimes it makes them think sports aren't for them and they drop out. So anything we could do to stop that is a plus. And there are a lot of things we've learned to help with this. Number 1 is to follow pitch count guidelines. MLB Pitch Smart is the one most widely recognized at this point. The second thing is to not be a pitcher and a catcher in the same game. That happens far too often, but if you think about who throws the most other than the pitcher, it's a catcher. And the final one that is one that sounds obvious but is challenging these days, and that's to take 3 or 4 months off each year from competitive throwing. If we have kids playing baseball, being active, playing for trained coaches that they like and are positive, and they're becoming better athletes, better baseball players, and not getting injured, they'll stay in the game. And in the end, that's our goal, to have kids who play baseball as long as they can and let their passion and their talents take them as far as the game will.